Today we're taking a look at the Arkansas vs. Baylor Ramblers match, which is happening on Monday, March 29, 2021 at 9:57 p.m., and giving you my betting tips and predictions in general on this game. Welcome back to High Stakes. Let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos. A spot in the Final Four will be on the line when the Arkansas Razorbacks take on the Baylor Bears in the South Regional Final on Monday night in Indianapolis. Third-seeded Arkansas won a wild game against the number 15 seed Oral Roberts Golden Eagles by a score of 72-70 as an 11-point favorite in the Sweet 16 on Saturday to improve to 25-6. Number 1 seed Baylor dominated the second half of its regional semifinal against the 5th-seeded Villanova Wildcats on Saturday to win 62-51 as a 7.5-point favorite, and is now 25-2. The third-seeded Arkansas Razorbacks and the top-seeded Baylor Bears in the Elite Eight Monday night at 9:57 p.m. EST live from Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. Currently, the Bears are favored by 7.5 points, up from 6.5 points at the opening. Arkansas got all that it could handle versus the Golden Eagles of Oral Roberts Saturday night as they were able to rally from as many as 10 points in the second half to squeak out a 2-point win. Devontae Davis ended the contest with 16 points and 8 boards on 7-13 shooting. Yet, none of his baskets was more important than his jumper with 3 seconds left to put his team up by 2 points en route to their 25th win of the season. And while 4 of the team's 5 starters posted double digits, the defense should receive a game ball as they were able to recover from a less than stellar effort early on to allow 43% FG along with 33% from deep for the game to the Golden Eagles. The Razorbacks ended a 2-game win streak against the spread, failing to cover as 11.5-point favorites. The Bears rallied in their Sweet 16 matchup as well as they outscored the Villanova Wildcats 39-21 in the final 20 minutes to erase a 7-point halftime lead to take an 11-point win, their 25th win of the year. The defense for Baylor forced 15 turnovers while giving up 43% from the floor in addition to 3-17 trays. On the other hand, the offense for the Bears did not shoot much better in the victory as leading scorer Jared Butler finished a dismal 4-14 from the floor while missing 8 of 9 3-point attempts for 9 points, ending a streak of 7 double-digit outings. However, huge performances from Davion Mitchell along with reserve Adam Flagler was the difference maker as they combined to go 11-19 FG. The Bears covered for the second straight game as 7.5-point favorites. These teams met twice in 2008 and 2009 with each team picking up an outright win. However, Baylor not only prevailed in a 23-point home win in their last matchup, but were able to cover as 4-point favorites as well. The Razorbacks narrowly avoided a history-making upset in the Sweet 16, coming from behind to end the Cinderella run of Oral Roberts in one of the best games of the tournament thus far. Oral Roberts led by as many as 12 points in the second half, but Arkansas clawed back thanks to a strong effort on the offensive glass. Devontae Davis broke a 70-70 tie with a tough short-range jumper with 2.9 seconds left to go, and Oral Roberts star Max Abmas couldn't sink a game-winning 3 at the buzzer despite getting a good look. The Arkansas Razorbacks booked their spot in the Elite Eight thanks to a narrow 72-70 win over Oral Roberts last time out. Jalen Tate led the Razorbacks in scoring with 22 points on 9 of 17 shooting with a team-high 6 assists, while Devontae Davis had 16 points on 7 of 13 shooting with 8 rebounds. Mason Moody had 14 points with 6 rebounds and 3 blocks, while Justin Smith had 12 points on 6 of 15 shooting with 14 rebounds for the double-double, including a whopping 11 offensive boards to cap off the scoring in double figures for Arkansas in the win. Desi Sills added 6 rebounds with 4 assists and a pair of steals as well. Jalen Tate led the Razorbacks with 22 points, while Justin Smith added 12 points and grabbed 11 of Arkansas' 16 offensive rebounds. It wasn't a good shooting day for Arkansas, but the Razorbacks limited Oral Roberts' red-hot offense to 8-31 from 3 and were plus 16 on the glass overall. It's an incredible feeling to be in an Elite Eight in our second year, said head coach Eric Musselman. who has quickly rebuilt the Arkansas program. I really can't describe it. Arkansas falls to 19-10-1 against the spread, and managed to cover in its first two NCAA tournament games, as it was actually an underdog against number 6 seed Texas Tech in the second round. Overs are 14-15-1 for the Razorbacks, and their last 5 games have all gone under the betting total dating back to the end of the regular season. Running a frantic tempo under Musselman, Arkansas ranks 11th nationally in scoring offense at 81.7 points per game on 51.2% shooting from 2 and 33.3% shooting from 3. Opponents are putting up 70.4 points per game against the Razorbacks on shooting splits of 46.3% from 2 and 33.2% from beyond the arc. Moses Moody, who has a chance to be a lottery pick in the NBA draft, leads the Razorbacks with 17 points per game despite a shaky performance against Oral Roberts. 3 of Arkansas' 6 losses came when Smith was injured, as the Indiana transfer piles up 13.8 points and 7.3 rebounds on 54.6% shooting from the floor. Freshman guard Colin Robinson, the consensus number 62 recruit in this year's class, is out for the season with a foot injury after appearing in 11 games. Center Connor Vanover has not appeared in the past 2 games after making 27 starts in the regular season, but by all indications is healthy and available if needed. Baylor was once thought of as one of the clear top 2 teams in college basketball. The Bears then suffered through the results and were not the same team when they returned. However, they opened the NCAA tournament with a 79-55 beatdown against number 16 seed Hartford. They followed it up with a 76-63 win over number 9 Wisconsin in the second round. Villanova jumped out to a first-half lead over Baylor in the Sweet 16, but the Bears responded with a strong second half en route to a 62-51 win on Saturday. They are one of the top offensive teams in college basketball, listed at number 3 in adjusted efficiency. Baylor didn't play well and it still won. The Bears weren't as bad as Arkansas was from 3 against Oral Roberts, but it was close. They hit just 3 of 19 from the outside in the 62-51 win over Villanova, but the only realistic way they were going to lose was if they got bombed on from 3. The Baylor defense stepped up huge, holding the Wildcats to just 3 of 17 from the outside and gave up a mere 21 seconds half points. The key? Turnovers. Baylor took the ball away 16 times, was plus 10 in turnover margin, and the transition game and extra chances, the Bears' 13 more shots, made all the difference. Arkansas isn't sloppy with the ball, but it's good for double-digit giveaways. The Bears will be facing an Arkansas defense that is 9th in adjusted efficiency, so it is shaping up to be a real battle. Junior guard Jared Butler leads Baylor with 16.6 points and 4.7 assists per game. He is shooting 39.9% from beyond the arc. Senior guard Machio Teague is scoring 15.7 points and is grabbing 4.1 rebounds. He has been held to single digits in each of his last 2 games. Junior guard Davion Mitchell is also in double figures, averaging 14.1 points and 5.3 assists. He is one of the best defenders in college basketball. So here are my betting suggestions for that game. Villanova and Oral Roberts were lousy this season at guarding the 3, and yet Baylor and Arkansas, respectively, couldn't do a thing from the outside. That's about to change as these 2 trade haymakers for a full 40 minutes in the type of up and down offensive show that's been missing throughout the tournament. The Arkansas Razorbacks are a team that I made a killing on this season, so getting points with them is worth a look. However, if we're being honest, Arkansas should have lost to Oral Roberts, and there were a few questionable calls that went Arkansas' way that bailed the Hogs out. Performances like that won't cut it against a Baylor team that started out slow against Villanova but came back with a vengeance in the second half, and the Bears just showed how legitimate of a threat they are to the field. My first betting advice for that game is to pick Baylor -7. Arkansas is 10-3 ATS in their last 13 games overall and 8-2 ATS in their last 10 games against a team with a winning record, while the under is 5-0 in their last 5 games overall. Baylor is 9-3 ATS in their last 12 neutral site games and 25-12 ATS in their last 37 games against a team with a winning record, while the over is 12-3 in their last 15 games overall. Defensively, Arkansas is allowing their opponents to average 70.4 ppg on 41.3% shooting from the field. The Razorbacks have a rebound margin of 3.9 and a turnover margin of 2.5. The 1-seed Baylor Bears, 25-2, was able to advance to the Elite Eight after defeating the 5-seed Villanova Wildcats, 62-51, this past Saturday. Baylor struggled in the first half against Villanova and trailed by a 30-23 margin at halftime. However, the Bears dominated the Wildcats on both ends of the court in the second half and pulled away after taking a 54-45 lead with 3:20 left in regulation. Baylor shot 44.1% from the field and 15.8% from beyond the arc, while Villanova shot 43.5% from the field and 17.6% from beyond the arc. Baylor won the turnover battle by a 16-6 margin, which both the Bears and Wildcats pulled down 31 rebounds each. Leading the way for the Bears was Adam Flagler, who had 16 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 steal in 24 minutes from off the bench. On the season, Baylor is averaging 83.0 ppg on 48.6% shooting from the field. The Bears are averaging 10.0 3-pointers per game on 40.8% shooting from beyond the arc. My second betting advice for that game is to pick over 148.5. Good luck to all of you. That's it for this video. Stay tuned and stay safe for the next betting tips and advice.